What's going on, guys? It's your boy Burrow77, and today I am coming to you with a little tutorial video on how to bet soccer tips and tricks. And today we are going to focus on set pieces. Set pieces are extremely important in soccer. They lead to a very high percentage chance of goals, either from the set piece themselves or plays resulting directly from a set piece. Set pieces create really dangerous chances for the offense, especially when you're getting them in and around the 18-yard box. I'm personally going to use my club, Madrid, as an example, but this translates well to every club, and these are things you can start focusing on for your favorite club to get better at betting player props for your favorite club. So, set pieces. What are set pieces? That's when a foul is committed by the defense and you win a set piece, a stopped ball, stoppage of play, and you get to set up in a formation that allows you to attack the goal. This can come in one of two ways: with free kicks, with corners. Throw-ins are kind of set pieces, but we don't see a ton of set piece style plays from throw-ins, at least definitely not short throw-ins. They would have to set up for a really long throw-in, and that kind of ends up being more like a corner. But anyway, it doesn't matter. The two things we're going to focus on here are free kicks and corners. It's extremely important to know who takes set pieces for your team. I'm in a little predicament right now with Madrid because I haven't seen my full Madrid squad play a game yet, and I've seen a ton of noise on Twitter about who's taking Madrid's set pieces now that Toni Kroos is retired. I'm going to go off of last season. Obviously, it was Toni Kroos. Toni Kroos was our primary corner guy. And now when it comes to corners, there's really mostly like two things you can do with corners. You're putting in service or you're taking it short. Madrid had a tendency to work a lot of short corners, especially if they wanted to move quickly. And short corners work really well if your corner taker has like a really big cannon of a leg, or he's got like some nasty curl he can put on the ball. So you can play it short and they can play it quickly back to the guy who took the corner once he's in play and gets a couple of steps off of the touch line, and he can try and go directly on net from there. But most of the time, even when you play short, you're setting up something to put in service into the box. So it's really important to know who your guys in the box that attack the ball are on service. For Madrid, a lot of the times it's going to be guys like Rudiger. It's going to be, Vinny's up there in the mix too. Rodrigo is, especially on headers as well, because he can jump. But you're going to see a lot of your more big physical backline guys. If we're talking Liverpool, think Virgil van Dijk. If we're talking Byron, think like De Ligt, Kim, Upamecano, those guys who are going to be coming in, and they're just really massive, tall, physical targets. When we were watching international ball in the Euros, think of the Dutch national team. Those dudes were all 6'4" and taller. They were all pushing right up on the breakout line there to stay on sides, on corners, on free kicks, because when you have a height advantage like that, you're aggressive in the air and you're a big physical dude on the ground who can box people out and throw the shoulders around, you're going to have a major advantage in the air. Now, there are strikers that can do this, and they're always good guys to look at for goals too. I'm talking like your Harry Kanes for Byron, your Edin Dzeko's for Galatasaray, your Lukaku's for whoever he's playing for. We're talking big Chris Wood for Nottingham Forest. Those are strikers that are going to be big targets on set pieces. Those guys aren't going to have nearly the same amount of value as your center backs like Rudiger, VVD, and the likes that I was talking about earlier. So set pieces is a really good chance for you to find guys who from open play aren't going to get up a lot of shots. And you can get set piece target guys sometimes anywhere from like -125 all the way to like plus numbers just to take a single shot in the game. It doesn't have to go on frame. It doesn't have to hit the rectangle. The keeper doesn't have to make the save. He just has to get the head on it at the end of a set piece. So there's a lot of value there if the the guys who receive service in the 18-yard box, and especially in the 6-yard box on set piece for your club, are center backs, left backs, right backs, and even CDMs and some midfielders. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is free kicks. There's two very different types of free kick takers. There's guys who go direct on net, and there's guys who put in service, much like the corner people. Again, the service, it's going to depend on your team, but if you have those big physical backline guys and they're pushing up and they're going into the 6-yard box on service from free kicks and corners, those are excellent guys to look for just one shot. And I like to keep those numbers in the, minus 125 to minus 130 is kind of the bottom of my price point there, all the way on up to whatever they're willing to offer me. But it is very important you know where your guy is positioned on free kicks and on corners, and whether or not they're playing inside the 18/6-yard box, and if they're going to get those opportunities. So that's one place to find a lot of value. Again, the other place to find value on free kicks is guys who go direct on net. For me and for Madrid, a lot of times that's Rodrigo. This is where if you see that Madrid's playing a team like Mallorca, if they're playing a team like Atleti, if they're playing a team like Sociedad, somebody who's physical, who's not afraid to play with Madrid, they know that they're going to be kind of outclassed. They're putting a bunch of people behind the ball, and they're going to make it uncomfortable for us to play. They're not going to want us to get free. They're not going to want us to get the balls over the top. So they're going to take strategic fouls kind of all over the pitch when they can outside the 18-yard box. And that's going to create a lot of free kick chances. Now, when Rodrigo steps up to take, he's typically going directly on net. So that's how you get more shot opportunities. So that's why, you can look at guys who take set pieces that go directly on net, who are either your center forward strikers or your wingers, whose shot prices are always going to be kind of terrible, and you're going to need them to hit 2+, 3+, 4+ to start getting into affordable price points, in my opinion. But set pieces are a great way to see those shot numbers start to increase. So Rodrigo likes to go direct on net, and even when he doesn't get the opportunity away and he buries it into the wall, they have Opta and the graders have no choice but to call that a shot attempt, because you can't see where the ball's going. It certainly wasn't on target. You don't know if he's putting that in for service as a pass. So the default accreditation there is a shot attempt. So that's a way to rack up some cheap shot attempts. Again, if they're taking set pieces that frequently, a lot of times they're going to put them on target. So that's a good way to look at guys who might be hovering around that minus 140 area all the way up into plus numbers. That's a good way to talk yourself into being like, hey, maybe I'll take him for 2 shot attempts and a shot on target with the correlation, blah, blah, blah. It's a good way to, if you like guys who get a lot of opportunities and they go direct on net all the time from set pieces, you can take them for 2 shots on target, 3 shots on target. If you don't want to get into the goals, my opinion is if I'm going to take a guy for 2 shots on target, I'm probably going to take him for a goal, just because at this level, if you're getting 2 shots on the net, you should be in the back of the net at least once. If you get 3, you better bury one. Otherwise, you're in a bit of trouble. But anyway, that's just my 2 cents on the thing. That goes over corners and free kicks a little bit. The other thing I want to talk about before we get out of here is positioning in the 18-yard box. Again, for guys who aren't directly receiving service, knowing where your guys are and what their responsibility is when you get service, especially in the 6-yard box off of corners and dangerous free kicks, you're always going to have a couple of guys sitting back, like real far back, that are going to be if they're not your center backs because they're up playing forward, they're going to be forced to take on that center back get back responsibility, and they're going to kind of clear out of the box and be the last 2 men back to prevent any sort of counters or anything like that from happening while your center backs book it back to try and help. But the important thing to know is who stands at the top left, the top right, and the top right corner of the 18-yard box, and who stands at kind of like the half circle there where everybody's got to line up, but between behind for penalty kicks, the top of the key looking arch there, because those guys are going to be in charge of, one, not letting anything get behind them if they're beat, and it's not going to be offsides. And two, they're going to take some of these guys are going to take chances for greasy goals, because that's what happens a lot with set pieces. You go up, you get in the air. If it goes on net, great. If it doesn't, or if the keeper makes a save, or if he just punches it out and it falls down and it's kind of in this no man's land, somebody's going to step up and they're going to try and put that thing in the back of the net. And for me, that's Fede Valverde, that's Tuch, that's Kamavinga, that was Cruz. You can even see guys like Mendy or Alaba going for shots. Rudiger for sure, Nacho, Danny Carvajal. Whoever's standing at the very edge of that 18-yard box are going to be guys who are going to get opportunities on greasy loose ball chances. That's what I talked about for Spain with Lee Normand a bunch over Euros. So those are just things to watch out for when you're watching your favorite team this year. And if you want to get better at player props, knowing who's involved and who's in charge of taking set pieces, who the guys that receive service are, and what they're doing around the ball when it comes to set pieces, it can help make you a lot of money. And I hope this video has helped you out. I'm really struggling to get you guys any sort of like futures content just because we don't have the markets for them. The transfer window is finally starting to heat up now that international competitions are over and the Olympics are starting to wind down a bit. So I will try and get you guys futures content more as I get more lines for them. But for now, I thought that a little tips and tricks video talking about set pieces and set piece plays might help you guys when it comes to gambling. Before we get out of here, I do want to plug a couple of things I have going on. Number one is my free live streams on YouTube. Make sure you are liked and subscribed to the YouTube page. It costs you guys absolutely nothing, and it helps me out a ton. I will be doing free live streams just like I did for Euros and Copa all year long once clubs gets back on. If you like those live streams, I'm doing a new project with my buddy Flash, aka Gordon Watson from BetUS. We're working together on our own project in Discord where we're bringing a direct-to-consumer live show every Friday night at 7 p.m. We just started that Discord last week. It is definitely the higher end of the price spectrum as far as things I do. And I got to say, I think it's very well worth it. Flash is one of the better handicappers I know and I've worked with and I've been around. He's very consistent. He knows what he's talking about. Hell, he played in the EPL and he was a scout for Leicester City. There's not a lot better EPL knowledge out there on the internet. I'm really happy to be working with him and I'm super excited for producing this show. And then I have my own Discord, which you can find the links for my Dub Club with Flash below, as well as my Discord. I charge $15 a month. I post all my free content there, along with some write-ups, some lean sheets I do. My plays, I track my record. I have demo like Excel spreadsheets you guys can use if you like it, yada, yada, yada. It's $15. You get a 3-day free trial. Jump on there, check it out. If you like it, great. Stick around. If you don't, no harm, no foul. You get 72 hours for free, and you can be on your way. So I really appreciate it. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you for your support. I cannot wait for soccer season to get underway. We have Atalanta versus Real Madrid coming up here in just about a week's time, I want to say, for a preseason match. That is official. It's the Europa League winner versus the Champions League winner. I can't remember what they call that one right off the top of my dome. I think it's a Super Cup or something like that. I don't know. But it's our first shot at a trophy for the year. So looking forward to that. Madrid's going to lift some more hardware. And we're going to start the race to Champions League, La Liga, Copa del Rey, Spanish Super Cup, you name it. Madrid's playing like 7 competitions this year, and I would like to bring home 7 trophies. So until then, I very much appreciate you guys tuning in. I hope this video helps. I hope all these tips and tricks videos continue to help. And I look forward to seeing you here shortly in a couple of weeks. Adios. Oaks out. Doses. We outside.